is a 220 antenna, quarter wave. I got the plans off of the ARRL manual, and it's really fairly simple. I actually use this in the house. It's screwed on the side of a bookcase. It lacks about a ½ inch of touching the ceiling, but it works great. I've used it for, I don't know, probably 4 years, and it's very, very simple. I had the opportunity to kind of use some heavy-duty stuff to make it, but it was free, so free is a good thing. But if anybody wants the plans for it, I do have 2 copies up here, but that's all I have. But you're welcome to it. Come up and take a look at it. So that's it.
Thanks, Tom. Dee, you want to go next? I built a QRP 40-meter transceiver in a little kit. Cost $10 off of one of those big box companies that's in the sky. It took me about 2 hours to build it. It works on 7023 megahertz. Puts a advertised 1.5 watts, puts a ½ watt out. Can work with a straight key or an automatic key. Didn't take very long. I do this because it's relaxing and it keeps your skills going on solder and everything if you got to do it. Just like this. This is one of my wife's favorites I just put together. Christmas tree. If you notice, Santa Claus is blinking. Then we got another one. I love these kits. It just chases the light around in a circle, the LED. Again, you can look at it, it's 2 ICs. It's a 555 and a 7414 or something, which is a decade counter. And it's just fun to build the things. You learn a little bit of theory about it, improves your soldering, and everybody has fun with it. My wife runs this every day. We play a game on the table, card game, and it keeps her sharp and everything. So there's my projects. The most fun was the radio. It works. I put it on the service monitor. I've listened to myself on my big HF rig. And I might take it out next weekend and see if we can contact somebody with it. So that's my stuff.
This is just a 220 J-pole. Now, I didn't build it. I ordered it from a guy in Missouri. He built it. It's 45 inches long. And when it came to me, I put it on an antenna analyzer, and it analyzed at 1.1 across the entire frequency. And it works great. It's done out of ½ inch copper. It's got a cap on both ends, and an SO239 that's been riveted and soldered. But it's a good antenna.
Next up, we've got Norm.
It's not often people want me to talk louder. So I built a bunch of different Arden nodes, which is Amateur Radio Emergency Data Network. It's designed to work without the internet, or you can connect it into the internet. Florida doesn't have a lot of nodes set up around. People like us would have to build them and set them up. Other states have huge amounts. So if the internet ever went down, they're all connected all the way across the whole state, stuff like that. So I just built a few just to play around. There's one of the nodes there by my truck. On the tailgate, you guys can look after if everyone wants to look, but on the tailgate is the white box. That's an Arden node that it accesses the Wi-Fi from the church. So I connected this node to the internet. It then uses the white box there to go to that white box over there, which then goes down to the white box on that table and has its own Wi-Fi hotspot. So if they could be miles apart, you know, as long as they can see each other. So you could take this Wi-Fi from here and move it miles away. This box right here is another node. So these nodes are real cheap. They're like $30 or whatever. So that acts as a mesh network. This is another node. It's a $25 node. This can connect directly to your phone. If you don't have cell coverage and you have an Arden network set up, you can use this. or you can connect it to one of those battery packs. The one with the solar panel I had on for 5 days just to test it, and kept working for the whole 5 days just using that solar panel there. So you can put these anywhere, you know, like if you want internet way over there, you can put a bunch and it'll just bounce around between them. We can talk about mesh networking if you want, but that's how it works. So on each node, I put a bunch of different things just to try out stuff. On that node, I have a Pi-Star hotspot running DMR that connects to that node directly. It does need internet to use that part. I also have a Pi-Gate RMS, which is a, I forget what RMS means, but it's part of WinLink. Radio mail server, there you go. So the antenna on top is connected to my Kenwood, which is set as a packet radio. And people out, if you publish it online, and they will see where it is and the frequency, etc. So they could download that, and then if they lost internet, they could use their radio to send email to this, which would then use the internet to relay it out. So if you're in an area where there's some problems or whatever, this could be set up outside it. Then them inside can use packet radio to send email out to here. What else I got on that one? Oh, I have voice over IP phones over there. I have a phone connected to there that can call to this node here or any other node you connect it to. Hold on, let me see what else I got here. Oh, I have my airplane tracker's over there, so hold on. What's that? Yeah, you can look at that now if you want. All right. Oh, I put in some apps. I put in Mesh Chat. So if you're not on the internet, or if you're on the internet, either way, you can log in with an IP address, and you can just type in like a chat box, and every node will sync up to itself, and the message will go wherever this thing is connected to. If I tunneled this into somewhere like even California or whatever, I just called them up and said, hey, give me your password, I can tunnel in through the internet, and we could be connected to California directly. You could chat here, and it would show up over there, however you wanted to do it. What else? Oh, I also have a APRS iGate running off of there, which does need internet, that part. That's why I put them on that side. So that would need internet to do its job. On this node, node 2, I have a phone also, another hotspot, which uses this connection to work. Also have mesh chat on there, and that I have a Pi-Gate on that what you do is you give out an IP address to non-hams, and they can log in and they'll see one website, and they can type a message to loved ones or whatever without actually tying up all the bandwidth of us, you know, our stuff. So because these are on Arden networks, they're -2 Wi-Fi channel, but because it's on well, that one's logged in as me. Other people I can allow because I'd be the control operator, so other people could use a Wi-Fi on their phones or whatever and send messages outbound to loved ones. It won't receive them back. The system doesn't do that. So that one has ADS-B exchange running on it, tracking airplanes, the planes that go over. I can give you an IP address now if you want to log into that hotspot, that Wi-Fi. You could then see planes without being connected to the internet. You can see where all the planes are and what they are and that type of thing.
Why can't you send messages back?
The system doesn't allow it. It's not they just have a one-way for people not in ham radio. So non-hams, we could access it and send it both ways. But any non-hams, if you're at emergency shelter or something like that, they can't use the system to send back in, because I think they're more worried about getting overloaded, you know, from people just bombarding in messages. Where if you were in here in emergency and this was set up, you know, temporary, you could send a message out, hey, I'm still okay, that type of deal. So, oh, I added a couple cameras just for fun. You can watch those cameras not being on the internet, and they record to micro SD cards, or you can watch them on the internet, however you want to do it. So those things run with or without internet. And when I say with or without internet, that one could have a camera, and you can access it on any of the nodes anywhere that's connected anywhere. You know, so a command center could be outside the incident, could have these all over the place, and they could see all the cameras that are connected to here. That's my third node, the white one there. That one also runs mesh chat, and that one also has the ability to put out a address that people could access, that type of device. So it has a Wi-Fi, it's broadcasting out an SSID also that connects in, but you wouldn't give that to anyone but other hams because of the frequencies it works on. Yeah, and this is my 4th node here. Like I said, this one I'll show you. Hold on a second. So if you're in an area with no cell coverage, you plug that in, you can let it boot up, and now you're on. So you won't have cell, but you have everything your phone can do, or Wi-Fi, which could be Wi-Fi calling, can be anything your phone can do if you're on Wi-Fi at home. If one of these nodes has access to the internet, you can do anything on the internet. If no node has access to the internet, you can still do chatting, see the cameras, track planes. What else do I have? I think there was a couple others, but I don't remember them off the top of my head. So, but yeah, these are 25 bucks. You just flash them with the Arden firmware. Those are like 50. Those the ones on top, and like 50 for the main box on the bottom. And this box, this little one's like 30 bucks. So yeah, it was just fun to do. I'm running them off a couple LifePo 4 batteries. They're 15 amp hours of batteries, and I left them running for a day, and they were pretty much on the home stretch at that point, but they lasted almost 24 hours running all those different things. So, any questions?
So how far can the nodes be apart?
These particular nodes are in the 2.4 gigahertz because I bought them a long time ago, but I never really got too much into it. So they can work 2 to 3 miles, maybe more if they can see each other very clearly. They have 5 gigahertz nodes, which can go a lot further. And then he has one that he didn't bring tonight, I asked him to, that has a dish on it that's only like, what, 60 bucks, that thing or something?
Yeah, 75.
75. You can do, I don't know, 40, 50 miles if you can see each other. It's all, because of the frequency, it's all literally line of sight. Like you have to actually be able to see it, so if it can see it, it can do it. So you would put those up, then you come down and connect to the node there, which is the setting to make it do that, and it takes the Wi-Fi and puts it out. So like that one has Wi-Fi in, goes in the box, goes out up there. It also does a Wi-Fi, and then it goes out on the node, connects to all these other nodes, this one, and this one now. And then it goes down, and I have that box coming out to Wi-Fi there. This box comes out to Wi-Fi here. So again, like I said, again, you can keep spacing them. As long as there's line of sight, you can keep adding and adding and adding and adding. And mesh, the way it works is one can go away, like I can take this away and it keeps on going. I could take that one away, you'd lose the below it, but all these other ones will keep going. So that's its point of this. Anything else? Okay.
You said you can tunnel your phones and connect them to that, right?
Yeah.
So that means your traffic from your phone is getting sent through that,
Yep.
reaching out to the internet.
Correct.
How does that not run afoul of...
Aha. That's always the big question. Everyone asks that. Arden has been in contact with, you can go on their website and read all the stuff, but it's the question everyone asks. They've been in contact, and so far everyone said it's okay. So yeah, it's every single ham asks that question. You can read a million posts about it, blah, blah, blah. And you're not supposed to use the encrypted stuff, and some of the stuff gets blocked, but basically, I also run Pi-hole on that one. I forgot to say that. I run Pi-hole on that to block all ads because I hate ads. Anyways, because I'm saving bandwidth on our Arden emergency network, I remove all the ads from all the websites. All right, what else? Yeah, I can't do it. Commercial use, that's right. I have to remove them. So anyways, anything else?
Is the Pi-gate just software, or is that?
The Pi-gate, there are 2 different devices. The blue box over there, and I can tell everyone these things later, and there's a black box over there. There are 2 different kinds. That one is designed, you take your vehicle or whatever, and you don't have to use Arden, you can use any Wi-Fi, it doesn't matter, and you take your ham radio that can do packet, which is pretty much any of them. You take that box, you go find a McDonald's anywhere that still has a working Wi-Fi. You connect that box and the ham radio and the little antenna. Then you go 25 miles away, how far can you VHF talk, however far you can get that, however high you can get the antenna. And you can take the blue box, and it connects to a ham radio too, but I didn't bring that tonight. I used the internet to do this one. You connect that to a ham radio, and you can let people do the things on their phone, like I said, without this, just regular people who are not hams, can do their email out to their loved ones, and you can set that to dial every 5 or 10 minutes. You know, it'll buffer the messages, and then it dials out to this one, and this hits the internet and will send them out. That's what but they're two different devices. They're Raspberry Pis. I went Raspberry Pi crazy here. I got a whole bunch of them. So they're two different Raspberry Pis with two TNC packet boards on top of them. So with some software a guy made. So I don't know. I want to say it was like 45 or 50, and then I bought the little cases, so I probably got $60 into each one. Each of generally people get this one to set up at local places or whatever, and then they dial into other people's who happen to have ones. Because if you look on WinLink, there's thousands of them all over the place, and you find the local ones, you download, it'll save it till you need it at some point. But generally they sell that one. But I decided at home I'm going to run one of those, so I bought that one also. So I figured I'd run it through Arden over here. Anything else? All right, that was enough talking. If anybody wants to see anything or ask questions, I'll be over there. You can call the other phone if you want to. You have to dial by IP address, but I'll show you how to do that. Yeah, PBX, a Raspberry Pi with a PBX was going to be added, but I ran out of time. So then you wouldn't have to use IP address. You could just dial whatever number you set it up.
Thanks a lot, Norm. Anybody else got one?
You can't top that.
Yeah, all right. All right, I'll read out